Paul Pogba is set to quit Manchester United and leave for free in the summer of 2022. That is according to a number of reports across social media and the mainstream media in the past 12 hours. They say that Man United are understanding that he's going to do it. There is almost calm in the situation that this is the end result and decision of Paul Pogba. It's highly likely in January that he will sign a pre-agreement with a new club. Paris Saint-Germain and Real Madrid appear to be the leading two clubs in that race. But Paul Pogba, according to reports in the media, will quit Manchester United and leave for free this summer. We're going to delve into that and take your calls this morning. Also, it's been revealed how much it's going to cost the Glazers and Manchester United to get rid of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. The cost actually a lot lower than many people anticipated. And on top of that, could Newcastle be about to land not only one of the best up-and-coming managers in the game in Ten Hag, but also one of the best sporting directors and technical directors in the market as well in Mark Overmars. All that and much, much more on the Done Deal show this morning. Smash that like button, people. Subscribe to the Football Terrace. Let's do it. Morning, everybody. I hope you're all doing very, very well indeed. Lots to talk about today. Some reports to say on Newcastle we'll get onto a little bit later. Very interesting report I read today on Football 365 talking all about what it may cost Manchester United to get rid of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But of course, some of the trending news in the past 12 hours is Paul Pogba essentially quitting or leaving Man United. Whatever phrase you want to use, you're free to lose. But for me, I think he's quitting the Man United project. I think he wants to move on to what he will view as bigger and better things for him. And can any of us actually blame Paul Pogba for wanting more and for wanting better than Manchester United? I very much doubt it. I very much doubt it. I do. Hope you're all well. Morning, Harrison Lang here. Says, funny how Conte looks like he's joining United and all of a sudden overrated, negative and... sorry, he's all of a sudden he's overrated, negative and leaves clubs in ruins. Listen, but that was always going to be said, wasn't it, my friend? Morning to JP, another member here. Morning, Star-Lord. Morning, RDX200. Original Base Annie. Hope you're well, my friend. A man like Matt in the comments section. All good. Yeah, absolutely. Smash that like button for us, please. Get that done. Let's read a few more of these comments here. Yeah, I'm good, Cedric. How are you, my brother? Hope you're well. Give Ollie time. Cheers, Chris. There we go. Star-Lord says, big up everyone in the chat. Absolutely. James is here. He says, Salah has ruined United. Listen, Salah ruined us on Sunday, no doubt, but we've done a lot of this to ourselves. I'd say one of the things that triggered me this morning, like Barcelona have not been well run in the past couple of years, no doubt. But even they are acting with speed. They may have kept Koeman a little bit longer than they wanted to, but they've already got Xavi Hernandez lined up, ready to come in. Whether he's a success or not is not the issue for me. They have a plan still. I want us to at least have a plan. At least have a plan of action. When it was revealed yesterday that the reason Ollie's still here is because Man United, and that's why I think they've leaked this whole, some of the ball of fighting for him. They're giving him 3 games to save his job. They're trying to put a positive spin on the fact that they don't have a clue what they're doing. It hasn't landed well with fans because we're too aware of it now. This isn't, sometimes I think these clubs forget what social media is. If we were all just sitting at home being fed this via the TVs and newspapers and not really able to communicate with each other, we might be more accepting of it. But the fact that we can talk, that we can have these conversations and we know what they're chatting is nonsense. It's a madness. They think they can get away with it. But there we go. I want to delve into Paul Pogba first of all. I really want to speak about Paul Pogba and what's going on with that situation because I don't understand why this is a shock to anybody. I'm seeing a few people on socials like, oh, good riddance, get him out. What do we expect Paul Pogba to really do? Honestly, in my opinion, Paul Pogba would be a mug, an absolute mug to re-sign for Man United. Even if we appoint a world-class manager, there isn't even a 50%, a 40%, a 30% guarantee that we become competitive, even with Zidane, even with Luis. If we got Zidane in with his assistant as Luis Enrique, and we had Ten Hag running training drills, there is still no guarantee we're going to be successful at this club. Why? Since Fergie and David Gill left, 4 managers in, and each have failed. So I do honestly believe Paul Pogba would be a damn right mug to re-sign a new deal here and legit waste his career, waste the peak years of his career at Manchester United. I really do believe that would be the case. So I'm not frustrated with him. I'm not angry with him. I'm not annoyed with him. But I do want the saga put to bed. I want a definitive decision to come out. Again, this is media reports saying this is the case. I just want a decision to be made. And he could be waiting to see what happens with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. There's no doubt about it. I just want it over and done with. Either way, I'm not going to be angry or even overtly excited if he stays. I don't really feel like it makes that much of a difference right now with Manchester United. But that's just my take. I'd love to know yours. I'm going to open the lines very soon for you to come on and have your say. Thank you, Stephen, for re-signing up as a member on the Football Terrace and becoming a squad member today. It means a great deal to me. It really, really does. Terry, how would you sum up Pogba's career? Flop, average, or a success? Individually, I would say that he has been a success. As a club, we've been terrible. Not even flop. We've been absolutely atrocious. I understand how some people want to sort of label that on him, but we haven't had the right manager. We haven't had the right system. We haven't had the right structure. Paul Pogba has had moments of brilliance and he's had moments where things have been poor. But that's pretty much the same as every single player in the last 8 years, 9 years nearly. Every single player from the lads in the squad after Fergie left until the new signings this year, who really has been continuously brilliant in that time. You could argue like Bruno Fernandes's outputs have been great, but even he's had periods and times where he hasn't looked great in the team. It just hasn't worked for anybody. And, we've seen a great example would be, look at the difference in particular players. And there's only a handful left at Liverpool. And there's quite a few left at Chelsea, of course, from when Tuchel and Klopp took over. And I just sort of feel like if Man United had a world-class system with a world-class manager, we would see more from the Pogbas. We'd see more from the Rashfords. We'd see more from the AWBs and Maguires. I think they're better players than their form dictates. If you've got a PE teacher looking after you, as in that's what people call Ollie, I can't expect him to be outright amazing all the time. I just can't. The same as Liverpool fans didn't think Jordan Henderson was that good until a manager come along and got him working and operating in the right way. Pogba is a generational talent, the type you build a team around. United have been for years just tossing him all over the pitch in a team that doesn't belong, is what BK has got to say. Terry, do you think Pogba could stay if Conte comes in? He may. As I say, what we're reporting on today that he quits is a media report. There's been no cast iron firmed up words from anybody. But yeah, he could stay. He could. A lot of people have suggested with Antonio Conte that players like Pogba and Bruno and Rashford and Ronaldo won't fit his system or won't work for him. I think that's just cap. I think any world-class manager is going to get the best out of somebody like Paul Pogba, in my opinion. 5 a.m. here in Houston, Texas, to watch my favorite show. Smash the like button, people. Terry, PP leaving is good for both himself and the club. I think what is good for Man United is the attention will move away from him. There are a lot of people that scapegoat Paul Pogba. The media certainly dive on him far too much, more than they should. So it'll be interesting to see who they blame. And the reason I say that is because he's blamed for a lot of what goes wrong at Man United for some strange reason. And equally with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he's blamed for loads. I've been doing this too long on socials where every manager, there's a cycle of these one or two players' faults. And under LVG, we were told Get rid of Fellaini and the past it Wayne Rooney and get in a world-class manager and we'll win. This squad's good enough. How'd that turn out? Under Jose Mourinho, again, it was get rid of this player, get rid of that player, get rid of Jose, bring in a manager that can just make the players feel good about themselves and they'll win. How did that go? Every single time we recycle a manager, there's 2 or 3 players with a problem and the coach, and then we bring somebody else in, and after a little while, all starts falling apart again. The pattern, there's a pattern there. There's a real pattern there, but we'll see. Thank you for that super chat, my friend. It means a great deal to me. Starlords here says, we have never seen the best of Pogba, and to be fair, not all of it is his fault. Of course, and he has had bad games and bad runs of forms, and the way he got sent off against Paris Saint-Germain, the way he got sent off the other day. There have been some penalties that he's given away. There's been some. It was a goal. I want to say it was back end of last season where he didn't track a man, and he should have done. And of course, there's criticism for Pogba. No one's denying that. I'm not denying it. But we haven't had a team in 9 years that has performed consistently. So why are we? And that's been before Pogba, when he's been out injured, and when he's been in the team. So it is a damn right abomination to go, it's Pogba's fault. It's just crazy to me. Crazy to me. We have a super chat here that's come in. Just a super sticker from TBG. Thank you very, very much for that super sticker. Just with a salt shaker there. Thank you very, very much indeed. I appreciate the support of the terrace. Paul Ross says, it's like a marriage. She leaves you and keeps going back. She don't want you. I kind of hear where you're coming from there. I look at the Man United thing this way. Irrespective of the players or the coach, it's where we are now has happened 4 times. There are always different nuances within, but it's happened 4 times. It's a club problem, a club issue. Especially a lot of people don't want to admit that, because then it's almost like, yeah, but you're giving the manager or the players a free pass. Of course, there's criticism within those problems of those said people. But it's gone wrong 4 times on the bounce. 4 times on the bounce. Got to look deeper. Have to look deeper. I'm going to open up the lines now for you to have your say. We're going to get your calls to come on and speak to us about what's going on in relation to this in the Pogba situation. I want to speak as well for a moment about the severance pay for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So it's interesting because it's reported that it's going to cost £7.5 million. £7.5 million to get rid of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And what I found staggering about this is the headlines kind of read like that's a colossal amount of money. Like it's a huge sum of money. Like it's, they might not be able to get rid of him. I swear we paid, let me just get Jose Mourinho's up. Jose Mourinho pay Man United. I swear it was like 20 odd million quid. 20 million pounds it cost to get rid of Jose Mourinho. As an example, £7.5 million to get rid of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer for me is a snip. It's a snip. It's a snip. It does appear, reading between the lines here, because nothing's been confirmed, that actually that's about a year's money. So it appears this 3-year new deal we gave him was a fugazi. It wasn't real. Let that sink in for a moment, Man United fans. A lot of us felt, and I remember Neek saying this, and he had a great point. Neek said, we have to give him a new deal. We have to create stability. And the players won't back Ole if they know that he could be leaving at the end of the year. Essentially is what he said, and there's a lot of truth in that. But his severance pay is 1 year's salary, not his entire contract, which means it's easy to get rid of him. That is the same as not getting a new deal. Almost the same as not getting a new deal. It's a little bit more secure than it running out in June 2022, but it isn't that secure because they can get rid of you for a fraction, a third of the cost. A third of the cost of your contract you can be gone for. Again, if you were going to back Ole, you back him 100%. The whole caboodle. They haven't. They've done it a third of the way. We're going to back you, but we don't really back you. Atrocious. Legitimately atrocious. To see, I mean, it's good news for sacking him. It's cheaper. But it's just crazy. There's only like everything's half a foot in, half a foot out. What they could have done is extended it by a year permanent. So yeah, if you get sacked in September, you get all of next year and the season after's money, but at least you're backed. The message you're sending to the dressing room is, listen, it's a cheap option to get rid of him. Some of us want him out. Let's get him out. It's honestly terrible running of the club. Yeah, and Moyes was 6 years out to pay him for. The LVG was still getting paid 2 years after. And remember, when you get paid by a club, very rarely do they give you a lump sum. The way it typically works is they continue to pay you a monthly wage until the end of your contract. How do I know that? I was Louis van Gaal's bank manager. That was it. That's how I know this. And I was surprised. He told me. And I obviously saw. But yeah, there we go. There we go. I want to get you on, David. Thank you for saying it's a great show. Danny here says, disaster for Man United since Ole took over. Ole is the interim manager once again, is what Don Charles has got to say. By the way, we haven't really promoted this the last few days. If you are super chatting in, and some of you have, remember, this is the secret. In that golden envelope is the Football Terrace secret football phrase. If you super chat in and you guess that phrase right, you win a football shirt of your choice. At the end of next week, we're adding the second prize to the pool. And that prize is going to be, a copy of the brand new Football Manager game when it comes out. So it's going to be the brand new Football Manager game when it comes out. You may want to get the football shirt. Maybe you don't want anyone else to get it. So it's a risk you might take, but we're going to be adding to the prize pool. Get your super chat in now to win a football shirt of your choice. Just guess what you think that football phrase might be, and let us know your thoughts and your feelings on that. Just under 200 likes, which is absolutely amazing. Thank you for the support today, my wonderful viewers. Love you all very, very much indeed. Remember, 6 p.m. tonight, the Top 6 show is back. You guys seen the new artwork for the Top 6 show? Have I shown you guys the new artwork? The new artwork is you guys want to see it? Have you seen the new artwork? Honestly, I can't wait for our complete changeover and all our new thumbnails to come in, because I am, honestly, when I say I'm in love with it. The guy that's designed it, honestly, I'll have I'd have his babies if I was a woman. It's one of them ones there. Let me share this with you now. Obviously, it will change based on who the teams are playing. But look at the new design here. Look at that bad boy. Look at that bad boy. We'll also have it thumbnail shaped as well coming soon. That's for the Top 6 show, of course, powered and brought to you by Bet Victor. So yeah, I'm happy with that. Hope you guys like it as well. Trying to up the game for you guys. Man, like Neeks is there. He's on tonight. Neeks is on. Looking good. Might have to get the picture changed though of Neeks for his new stylistic hair. I like the new haircut. Although I do miss the afro, brother. I do miss the afro. Simon here says United plan is to limp through the season and hope Poch gets sacked. They don't have the balls to come to get Conte at the club, is what Simon thinks. I don't even think that is a bad shout. That's how much I distrust this board, that they might go, we could cough and splat our way over the line. You know, we could cough and spat our way over the line. Thank you very much, Terry. Keep up the good work. The best fan channel around. I appreciate you saying that. You know, we're getting there. We're getting there slowly. But listen, I was in a meeting yesterday with something we want to add for you as an interactive tool when you're watching. It's going to cost a lot. The price to add it to what we do, it'll be unique to the terrace. But trust me, we've got such amazing plans in the pipeline. I'm very excited about the future. I am. Terry originates. We appreciate the other content makers imitate. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that compliment. Shane liking the new artwork as well. Before I go to calls, though, I do want to speak about the situation at Newcastle as well. And the reason I want to speak about that is because they're working well. Mark Overmars, Ralph Ratnick, all linked to Newcastle United to come in as technical or sporting director, run the damn club, footballing wise, is essentially it. Run the club from a footballing perspective. Beautiful to see. beautiful to see, in my opinion, because that's the most important part, running the club well. You can make mistakes on signings and make mistakes with managers and coaching staff, but if you're run well at the top, that is pure, that is clean, that is the sole objective for all the commercial deals that you do. The end result is to win football matches and major trophies. You will yield success. Do you know, it's actually impossible. For me, whatever I've done in my life, whatever business I've been involved in, all the little processes and networking events and phone calls and lunches and talks and training things I've done has been to deliver, to achieve results, to get paid what I want to get paid. And I'll tell you my overarching motivation in life. I said this when I was 20 years old and I was single and I had no children. And I remember being asked by the gentleman, Peter Gover, big up yourself, the first man that ever promoted me. He said, why do you want the promotion? What are you fighting for? And I just said, I want a secure future for my wife and kids, I think I said. When you married, you got kids. I went, no, I don't have a wife, don't have a girlfriend, I've got no kids. But that's always what I've been striving for. There's an end result for everything I do. It isn't just I'm going to work to work's sake. That's how a club should be run. Our job is to win the Prem. We're here to win the Premier League. That's it, point blank. How do we do it? Well, we need the commercial deals. We need the income because we need to employ these people and promote this and buy these players. And then what we need is a clear structure so that every player that comes in knows how we play. The youth academy, both male and female, right through to the first team, play the same style of football. That way, when you promote someone from the youth academy into the first team, they understand how we play. When we buy somebody, they have to be the profile of player that can play that way, a manager that can coach in that way. We're going to loan out a player to another club. That football club has to play a similar style of football to us, have a similar type of manager to us. So they're learning away from here how to play first team football. But when they come back, they click straight into play. That's what needs to happen. Newcastle are looking like they're going to do that in such a great way. They're then linked with Erik ten Hag, who I think if they bring him in as the first manager in their development, that could be perfect. That could be absolutely out of this world. It could be phenomenal. Phenomenal because I don't know if he's ready for a Man United or a Liverpool or a Man City in the Prem yet. He might be. He might not. But he's more than ready for Newcastle. And what someone like Erik ten Hag could do is actually not only make Newcastle successful in the short and the medium term, but he could help lay the foundations to turning Newcastle United into one of the best football clubs in the world. Help them create that footballing philosophy they want that marries up with what they're going to do at board level. So maybe in 3 years' time, he might have won an FA Cup and the squad's looking really good, but then Barcelona comes a knocking. Man City comes a knocking for him. I'm just throwing these out as examples. But then Newcastle had this blueprint for the next person to come in and go, yeah, I'm ready to go. Let's do this. Honestly, I think it's really, really, really positive right now from Newcastle. Now, they might not get Ten Hag. He may get an offer from I mean this with respect, Newcastle fans, a bigger club in the contemporary sense. But the ambition from you is there. The plan from you is there. And the advantage Newcastle have over, say, a Man United who are looking for a new manager is that there isn't the necessity to win now. You want to stay in the league, and maybe that will take precedent over building the blueprint from now. Maybe you guys will sign an interim until the end of the campaign to keep you up. Who knows what Newcastle are going to decide to do. But if you land Erik ten Hag, honestly, phenomenal business. I'm very, very jealous of how Newcastle United are being run right now. I really, really am. Going to go to your calls now. I'd love to get more of you on to have your say. Make sure you're smashing that like button. Let's get this past 500 likes, please, ladies and gentlemen. It would mean a great deal to the terrace. First up, Josh is going to come on all the way from Australia. I know he's from Australia. Definitely, he's told me before. I need to get people's locations right. You're going to go, no, actually, I'm from New Zealand. They're going to get that wrong as well. I'd like to hear from you as well. You can call in. I did post the link earlier. I'll post the link again now. That's going to be replacing the pinned tweet if you want to come on and have your say. Todd says they will go down. Maybe they will, but I think they'll save themselves with the January sale as well. Josh is here with me now to have his say. Let's do this. Morning, Josh. How are you?
Not too bad. How are you? Been a while.
Yeah, it has been a while, mate. It has been a while. It has been a while. What are you here to speak about this morning?
Just it's mainly the Pogba and Ole situation. I mean, this just shows the ongoing incompetence from board level right down to coaching level. I mean, I won't have any ill feeling toward Pogba. I don't have any ill feeling toward Pogba. We've known this is going to come for quite a while. I mean, it's been what 6 years come the end of the contract. And I mean, he's been hot and cold, but I mean, he's basically in his peak years. He's going to want silverware, and not just a Europa League and an FA Cup. So, you know what? If I was there, I'd be, shake his hand, thank you for everything, good luck with your next venture. Um, but yeah, this whole situation, it's just a mess. I can't quite wrap my head around it. I don't know. Everything for so long has come out as we're building everything in the background. Ollie's doing a wonderful job. We're getting stability. But now a couple of losses, a bad run of form, and something I picked up a while ago. The fact that I think the squad now is above Ollie's level. The demands go up. The overall mentality was expected to be a lot higher, and the performance is a lot higher, and Ollie just hasn't matched that. Now, the fact that the board is now scrambling and there's all these rumors, I mean, Conte being the front runner, but I've seen whispers of I think Poch is in the conversation again. Zidane was mentioned, and he's in and out. I mean, I don't know what's going on here, and the I think it's your local journalists. They're not really saying much because I don't know. Maybe they're afraid of their reputation if they say something wrong, or it's a big mess. It's a quagmire, and I can't make heads nor tails of it, to be honest. But yeah, the situation's pretty screwed.
Yeah, listen, I totally get where you're coming from, mate. I think the Pogba situation, it's just been ongoing for a while. The fact that he hasn't committed to a new deal up to this point, completely and utterly shows us that he's deliberating over what he's doing. The club should have acted sooner. And in terms of, if you're a well-run club would have said, look, Paul, this is what we're doing. Are you going to sign a new deal? No. Well, you've got 2 years left plus a 1 year extension. That means you've got 3 years. Sell him. And do you know what's crazy about it? We turned down offers of like 50 and 60 millions ish 2 summers ago. No, Pogba's worth more than that. Well, we've paid him lots of money since then, and then he's going to walk away for free. And then we're going to have to invest in another new midfielder. So you probably won't round it all up, and we're going to be down maybe 70, 80 million pounds on this deal as a football club. And that's what I mean by being well run. People see the amount of money the Glazers spend, and as in they allow the club to spend on players, and they say, see, they are backing you. But on this Pogba situation, we're going to hemorrhage another 70, 80 million quid. That's 70, 80 million pound is that CDM that we want. As an example, it's the hemorrhaging of money at this football club because of bad practice. This like cutting our nose off to spite our face is just ridiculous. We did it with Romero a summer or so ago. We didn't quite get what we wanted in terms of offer from him. So we said no. So he sat on the bench earning over 100 grand a week. And it frustrated a lot of his teammates, and they become disgruntled and annoyed that he was being treated that way. So you not only ruined some harmony in the dressing room, you hemorrhaged money and had a top class goal. Like you could have got, fair enough, you might have only got a smaller loan fee and only 50% of his wages being paid, but that was still money you would have saved that could be invested elsewhere. And on top of that, the squad would remain happy. This club's just a joke, mate. Josh, great call. Thank you for coming on and having your say. Appreciate it, mate. Thank you. Next up, it's going to be ads. After that, we're going to speak to Mo on the line to have his say. Look at that, nearly 300 likes. Love you guys so much. Thank you. Ads is here. He's a Liverpool fan. What do you want to say, bro?
Yes, Terry, man. Thanks for having me back on again. You know what? I'm going to touch on what the previous caller touched on as well, which is Ole and the Pogba situation. And yeah, from United's perspective at the moment, it's all shambles, all shambles. The reason being is, you know what? I don't even think Ole's the problem for you guys. After that Villarreal game, Ole, any other club would have sacked that manager on that spot and brought in a new coach. The issue with United, and everyone's right, it's the way you're run. You're a reactive club. You're not a proactive club. So you don't make decisions when you should make decisions. You kind of leave it. And then when it's too late, you make a reactive decision, which is kind of detrimental to your business moving forward. And we're looking at the situation now, and I want to compare it to Klopp's situation. Brendan Rodgers, towards the end of his tenure with Liverpool, was having a horrid time, especially in that summer period. He was meant to be sacked there. Liverpool didn't sack him because they had a plan to bring in Klopp midway through the season. So they were making sure Klopp was done to a T. And once they sacked Brendan Rodgers, in walks Jurgen Klopp. And that's how a business is meant to be run. You're meant to have a plan or backup plan when things don't go the way you want. You should never offered Ole the 3 years. And I know a lot of fans point at Ole. Listen, Ole's never been at that level. We all know that. He's just done a job of getting United back to a level where they can compete again. And this is where a great manager is meant to come in and take you to that next level. So all the abuse Ole is getting now, I think people should be directing that at the Glazers rather than Ole. Because, my friend, Ole's never been at that caliber in the first place. And just to touch into the Pogba one, you know what it is, Pogba? Amazing talent. Hurts me that he plays for United. Amazing talent. But look, he's been involved, I don't know how many rebuilds at United. I think he needs to evaluate his career at the moment and look if it makes sense to stay for another project and see where that goes, or go to a team like Madrid or PSG where you're guaranteed to win trophies. And that pressure is probably not going to be as much as it is at United at the moment. So I think he's going because, look, any player that's not signing their contract when it's approaching 6 months of the deal, look, all the power is in their hand. And the fact that United have given him that much power, I just don't see how he signs. I see it like a Donnarumma situation where Raiola just waited to around April time and said, look, yeah, we're going on the free. And I think that's what's going to happen with Pogba.
Yeah, listen, I totally agree. I totally agree with everything you said there. I think what's really interesting for me about the Man United situation, everybody knows there's things to criticize Ole about. You know, I know you've watched this channel regularly and for a long time. My focus has and always will be the Glazers, and it has. And that doesn't, people often, again, this is how crazy people are, though. I ranted about the Glazers. I don't know if you saw my rant from 2 days ago when Ole was staying. I was ranting. Nothing I was angry about was Ole himself, the person or the coach. It was the lack of decision making, the poor way of running the club. But a lot of Ole inners have taken that as me berating Ole. And I'm like, I didn't slag Ole off once. I slagged the club off and the way it's run. Interestingly, though, when you then you get the Ole outers that are like, Terry, why are you deflecting from Ole and not focusing on the problem? And I sometimes sit there scratching my head and think, no wonder the Glazers get away with this, because when you attack the Glazers, you get a group of people that think you're attacking the manager and another group that think you're defending the manager. And I'm sitting there thinking, neither of those things are true. I'm looking at the real problem at this football club that is so often ignored. And I got called out by a Man United fan who said, because I called out Gary Neville, I'm like, why are you not condemning the way this club is run? And he's like, he spent the whole summer condemning the club. I was like, no, he spent the time condemning the club regarding the Super League, not the way they run the club. I can't remember seeing any Man United alumni, anyone that won the last Champions League or the Champions League in '99, I'm talking about legendary figures at the club. I can't remember any of them coming out on a regular basis and condemning the Glazers and Woodward and the way this club is run. I just don't remember seeing it. If someone's got footage of people doing it, I'm not talking about one little rant every now and then about this club isn't run right. I'm talking about that being the focus. So there's no way our fans are going to focus on the real problem when the pundits and the media and the journalists are never focusing on it. I got mocked for being dyslexic because I had a letter wrong in Ollie's name by a journalist from the Manchester Evening News, as opposed to him challenging my points around the Glazers running the club poorly. And I know why he did that. No journalist really goes after the Glazers. Why? Because they'll get their access revoked. They won't be allowed they won't be allowed to report on things or given the inside information. The whole thing is a pigsty, mate. It's an absolute pigsty.
No, spot on, Terry. Spot on. And it's interesting because, listen, and I don't want to be disrespectful to United fans, but the class of '92, you guys need to cut that relationship. It was when we were so in love with the whole Kenny era. It was when we kind of distanced ourselves and moved away from that we started seeing real success again. And I know Ferguson is a legend at your guys' side, but look, even the reports of him going to the stadium to go and confirm it, I don't know if it's true or not, but I think you don't need to cut your ties with that class of '92s, the Garys, the Rios, and start fresh. Start fresh. And if it means bringing in a manager that's going to disrupt that, like a Conte, you should do it because it's going to help You guys win now. You guys are primed to win now. People talk
Yeah.
about the Ronaldo signing, that it was bad. No, Ronaldo signing was brilliant for you guys, because all it did was accelerate your issues to now. Because these issues that you're having now, if Ronaldo didn't come, it would be 2 years in the making. What has happened now with Ronaldo being there and all eyes are on you, it's just accelerated the process, where now it's like, oh, we're not good enough. We're not at that level. And because Ronaldo's here, because we know he's a proven winner, we need to get at that level. And that's what's getting Ole, well, getting him sacked at the moment, because he's not at that level. But had you not signed Ronaldo, it would have been another process for 2 to 3 years, which your Glazers love, because all they want is top four and someone that's not going to complain at them. And Ole does that for them, essentially. Bring in a Conte, let him disrupt everything. That's the only way you guys are going to move forward. And I'm saying this, obviously I'm loving every moment as a Liverpool fan, but I'm saying this because I know the potential United should be. You should be back at the level, because you are Manchester United at the same time as well. But yeah, that's my take on it.
I hear you, bro. Thank you very much, Ads, for coming on and having your say. Appreciate that, mate. Thank you. Top man. There's Ads there having his say. I've been hearing this for almost 3 years from Terry. In fact, I've been talking about this since I had 100 subs as original base, and he said, and I appreciate people that kind of recognize and see that within us as well. Prince here says, Terry will come on here and abuse Hazard for not fulfilling his potential, but he has got a list of excuses for Pogba. But I do feel like Pogba is at the peak of his powers. World Cup winner, league title winner. The only thing he hasn't achieved yet is the Champions League. With Eden Hazard, I have always said Eden Hazard is an amazing player, world-class player. You are not listening to what it is I've said about Eden Hazard. I think it's wrong to put him on the same pedestal as Messi's and Ronaldo's. That's the only thing I've ever criticized about. Plus, I don't think he's reached his footballing peak because he doesn't want to. And that bothers me as a professional person myself. But do I think he's world-class? Yes. Do I think he's one of the best inside forwards or wingers the Premier League's ever had? Yes. Do I think it's wrong to put him near Messi's category? Absolutely. It's a different conversation, Prince. You're taking two different debates, conversations, and arguments, and you're amalgamating them into one. They're not the same thing. They're not the same conversation at all, my friend. Getting close to that 400 like mark, which is amazing. Thank you. Mo's on the line with me now. What are you saying, Mo?
Yeah, this Pogba situation, mate. It doesn't surprise me. Like, nothing surprised me about this football club. Like, the Pogba situation should have been sorted out 2-3 years ago. He's gonna leave. I don't blame him. Like, he wants to win. Look, he's a massive global icon for Adidas. You know, he is their poster boy. They have to have Pogba winning big titles, and at Man United, he's not going to fulfill that. There's so many problems with Man United. You've got a clueless manager there who doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. Literally has no idea what the fuck he's doing. What Man United need now, they need a new CEO. So Ed Woodward needs to be gone. He needs to be gone from that club. If it's Richard Arnold, bring Richard Arnold in. But we need to see someone new who can run the club maybe differently. But Ed Woodward needs to be gone. We need to get a new manager in, and we need to start as a new United. No more of this class of 92 and selfies, nothing like that. From now on, it's going to be Manchester United first. No more of this Gary Neville and Ruford and all that crap. That's in the past. It's a new United. We're going to do things differently. Bring in a new manager, getting Conte in. Ed Woodward needs to leave as soon as possible. The Glazers, we know they're pagans, but they're always going to be there. But Terry, we need something new. We've had 8 years under Ed Woodward. I heard he was going in December. Now he's going in April. What's going on? If he wants to go, let him go. Fuck off. Bring in, if you're going to be Richard Arnold, bring him in and bring Conte in and just start again. Start fresh. But these problems, Terry, will always happen over and over and over and over again unless we change as a football club. Change needs to happen now. Barcelona sacked their manager. And we can't. We're giving him 3 games. And the Pogba situation, Terry, you spoke about the situation 2 years ago. Yet we're speaking about it now. You saw it 2 years ago, and our club can't see it. It's terrible. It's making me hate United, Terry. Honestly, like, the passion for United is gone. It's finished.
And mate, I hear you on. I hear you and I understand you on it. You're seeing the way Man United fans are treated is disgraceful. We all saw these problems. We all saw these issues on the horizon. And the bit that's made me so infuriated in relation to this is the fact that, again, we were told predominantly by the media and journalists with access, all these things were being changed and were being looked after. And I don't even disbelieve that the likes of Ole felt these changes were coming. But when push comes to the shove, our ownership reverts to type. They're reactive. It's, oh, what should we do? And you probably, do you know what you probably find? Well, I almost guarantee it. There's no plan of action what to do with Ole struggling. They're now scrambling around. Who do we find to come in? And they're probably right that Conte doesn't really fit with what they've been trying to build under Ole. But they're going to end up panicking and putting him in. Now, that doesn't mean he won't be successful, but it means you don't have a plan. And when you don't have a plan, you know, I look at it this way. If you have no sat nav or a map and you've got to drive from London to Glasgow without a map, without a sat nav, not knowing where you're going, you're definitely going to take some wrong turns and get lost. But Man United are doing this so frequently. We never get to the end destination. It's so frustrating, Mo.
Can I just ask you one question?
Mm-hmm.
When Ed Woodward leaves and we get the new CEO, do you think he'll be different, or do you think he'll run the club the same as his predecessor?
So I don't think it'll be.
Will he have his own stamp on it?
No, because he's part of the Woodward group. He's another banker. We don't have somebody, and still the Glazers have, even now, right? Even when you read the whole Woodward and all these guys have tried to protect Ole, Joe Glazer still has the overarching say on things. This football club will not improve until the board has an overhaul, where you need some commercially minded people on the board. But what you need more than anything else is football men and women running the football club. People like Edwin van der Sar that are proven to know how to run football clubs. If we get that right, and then what you also then need, and this is the most important bit, until the Glazers state, and I don't believe they have, that winning the Premier League and Champions League is the most important thing at the club and not generating income and not generating money, you'll never turn us back into winners. It's actually impossible to turn us back into winners, in my opinion. Absolutely impossible. Impossible. You can't, because the mindset isn't there to win when the owners and the club don't want to win. It's almost impossible. It's almost impossible, in my opinion.
We can't have both. We can't win and make money.
You can if winning is the top priority.
Because if you win, you make money. Simple as that.
Yes, you do. You do. It seems very simple to me, but our owners don't seem to want to get it, and they haven't got it yet, and they're still doing what they're doing. But Mo, I appreciate you coming on, mate, and having your say. Top man.
Thanks,
thank you, bro. Thank you. We've got another Liverpool fan coming on next. This is LFC J25. What you saying, bro? You're on mute, by the way.
Bro, first of all, I would like to thank Terry for allowing me. I was talking about the Newcastle situation. If they bring Ten Hag in Newcastle right in this January, I don't think it will be possible. I think they need to stay at the Prem for a moment. For the long-term project, I think Ten Hag would be possible, but for right now in the relegation battle, I think you need a manager like Lucien Favre or Fonseca or whatever.
I hear you on that. A little bit of a loud line there. I hear your point there, my friend. And I think some people, thank you for calling in. I think some people, Newcastle fans, may agree with you on that in relation to keeping them in the league. Let's have a look at a few more. Terry, would you take United to lose against the scum on Sunday? Okay, you're Saturday. I don't want my team to lose. I never want my team to lose. So no, I don't want that to happen. I just don't. I want my club to win every game they play in. I can't lie. If they lose and Ole goes sooner than the 3 games, you can argue there's a silver lining in that. But I don't want us to lose. I just can't. I cannot say no. I just can't. I really, really can't say that. It doesn't sit right with me, feel right to me, or anything. I can't, my friend. I'm sorry. A few more comments here. Pogba, okay. Only 1 clean sheet we have kept, and we got lucky in that game against Wolves. Traore almost scored against us, but other games I hate conceding. We lack too much, is what man like Levi Cole has got to say. Next on the show, Sid Singh is here with us now. What are you saying, Sid?
Hey, Terry, how are you?
I'm very well, my friend. What's on your mind, brother?
Hey, first of all, I don't understand why the heck Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is still here in this club. And although I would like to have Conte in as the manager of Manchester United, but I have few concerns regarding Antonio Conte. The main one is being the fact that a lot of players in our squad don't really come into his system, especially with the likes of I'm not sure about how he will use Bruno Fernandes, Jadon Sancho, and even Marcus Rashford to a certain extent. So, but yeah, I have nothing much to say but just the fact that Ole needs to go, man. And I have no idea why the club is still keeping him on the first place. And one more question is that if Ole gets the sack, who will be your first choice to replace him, irrespective of the availability of the manager?
Yeah, no, I hear you. I do hear you on that. It makes a lot of sense in relation to what you're saying there, my friend. And I'm a bit like you when it comes to Ole. I saw a tweet this morning. And I want to go to it. Now, this gentleman is always very, very positive about Man United. I think
one clean sheet, man. One clean sheet.
Oh no, I know. I'm just trying to find a tweet from somebody, and I can't find the person's tweet. I can't remember his name. He's a Man United based journalist, and he basically sort of said he understands why Ole is still in the job. There is no successor right now, so it's better than promoting from within as an interim or a caretaker. It makes sense, blah blah blah. And I'm like, nah, I don't think it does, because I think you send a message into the dressing room and into the fan base that we know this has failed. We thank Ole, we shake Ole's hands, we move on. We're working tirelessly to bring in somebody new, someone that can elevate us. But I think a lot of Man United fans' anger right now, right this second, is that we feel that if Ole does well in these games, which isn't inconceivable, they then keep him longer. Where if we know he's gone, we know he's gone. And we are going to find a new manager. That's my fear, that we beat Tottenham, we beat Atalanta, we fluke a draw against City, and then we give him another 5-10 games. And it's like,
I mean, irrespective of the results, like even if we win against Tottenham, Atlanta, I guess it's after Tottenham we face Atlanta, then Man City. I feel like, it's no point. There's no point. I mean, so what? I mean, if we win like next 6-7 games, and we have seen the pattern earlier as well. He goes on a run for like next 10 to 12 games, and after a while he loses to some relegation team like Norwich, or like last season he lost to Sheffield United, and we basically went back to square one, and hence we lost the momentum. So it's a repeat cycle, man. I mean,
no, listen, bro. It sounds like you're disagreeing with me, but I know that you're not. 100%, I agree.
I'm absolutely agree with you.
I 110%. Here it was. It's Tim Long is his name, and Tim Long says, "I completely back Solskjaer remaining in charge. There are no available suitable alternatives, and a caretaker from within would have the same issues. But it's my view that to stand a chance of turning it around, he simply has to revert to the team and tactics of last season." Now, what I find crazy about that is we started the season with that team, and we were getting outrun and outplayed by Southampton and by Wolves. We started that team against Everton and conceded goals in the same way. It's almost this notion of, it's almost like Tim here is trying to put it on Cristiano Ronaldo as to why we've gone backwards, which in my view is a nonsense. The tactics issue is crazy because we still struggled last year. Now, we can go back to last year's tactics all we want, but when he says we can promote from within and have the same issues, that's wrong. The reports have told us that Ole is doing things different to what the coaching team. So I've heard people moaning about Man United's press. We don't train the press. Cool. But Ole's instructing them to go out there and press. If you had McKenna just take care of this club for 3 or 4 games, and McKenna instructed the team to play how they were trained, irrespective of whether we enjoyed the football, I guarantee we perform better. If you train all week to play in style A, but the night before the manager says, no, we're going to play in style B that you haven't practiced, how do we expect to be successful? It's an absolute abomination to keep him. It really is. Sid, top man, thanks for coming on, mate, and having your say. Appreciate it, brother. KJ's here with me now. What are you saying, Cage?
Yo, give me an interim, bro. that Tim Long brother. Listen, I don't care if the interim would have XYZ issues. Give me them now. Give me them. Like, I would rather have interims than have Ollie. That's the point it's got to. And discussing last night, I'm in advice about the squad balance and like Saul's like, oh, they're not compatible. They don't suit each other. I was like, no, we have a very good squad, and the reason why Ollie is failing is because he hasn't found a solution to make this squad work. You can't tell me that there's no single player in that squad complements each other. Otherwise, we don't finish third and we finish second, like straight, like back to back. There is a squad there that can work, and Ollie is failing to make it work. So I would happily take an interim right now, and then go get whoever you want to get in. Because at the moment, we're screwed anyway, Terry. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what our board are like. We know what our owners like. If we're gonna be screwed anyway, if we are finished anyway, let me be finished with a manager that could win us trophies rather than be finished with a manager who can't win his trophies. That's all it is now. That's the basically where we are at right now.
Yeah, and you know, when it comes to Tim, right? When it comes to Tim, he works for Man United. So again, like I've said, with all due respect to him and all the employees over there, one thing, you know, a lot of people get on at MUTV. Why do those players and guys don't like the Glazer trash and all this? Well, most of them guys that are working on that channel, most of the journalists that work for Man United, these guys are not multi-millionaires who can afford not to work again. They need a job. So I kind of respect the fact that they're protecting their income. I respect it, because at the end of the day, if you had a job, KJ, we're not talking about human rights issues here. We're talking about football. If you had a job where you were like, oh yeah, you know, we're terribly run, but you're not like hurting anybody, you're not manipulating or damaging anyone's lives from a social justice point of view, you're not allowed to say anything, and you wouldn't say anything if you knew you could lose your income. So I respect that, what he's doing, but where he's wrong and what he's ignoring here, Tim, and a lot of people like him, there are alternatives out there from an interim basis. Promote just let McKenna run the team for 2 or 3 games. It can't be worse. But like I've said, what it would do is send a message to the fans, something change is coming. My biggest fear right now is that we stick with Ollie. And even if, bruv, we go on a 10-game winning streak and we make the top 4 this season comfortably, even if we do, we ain't winning trophies with Ollie, and we're never winning the league with Ollie. And for me, we're just prolonging the inevitable. It's like a death by 1,000 cuts, and it's for us just chop my fucking head off. Chop my fucking head off. Get it done.
Like honestly, like Terry, the fact that I haven't spoken about this yet. How does giving a man 3 games to save his job make any sense? It doesn't make any sense. If he's not good enough for the last 10 games, how are 3 gonna change everything and be like, oh yeah, actually, those 3 games compared to those past 10, that is why we're keeping him, and he's gonna. It doesn't make any sense. Past evidence and current evidence shows us that he is not good enough. 3 games should not change that. I am fearing, Terry. I'm saying it. I know it sounds ridiculous. I'm fearing a draw. Just a draw would be enough for them to say, oh, actually, he didn't get beat that 1 game. He's turned it around. The bounce back is here. You know what I mean? Like, say if we lost to Spurs and Atalanta, then we drew against Man City, I would not be surprised if they're like, oh, that draw against Man City, that's the turning point. That's the turning point. He can go on and do wonderful things. 3 games shouldn't matter. If he's not the guy, he's not the guy straight up. And he shouldn't be here. We've just seen Koeman lose his job. Legend of the club. He's gone. We saw Frank Lampard last season. Legend of the club. Go. Pirlo. Go. Gattuso. He also went. Why is that Man United are the only club who've been hired a former player and can't let them go? Can't let them go. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. This football club is rotten from top to bottom. Sentiment is killing us. And right now, Terry, if things don't change, we have to change. Man United's fan base have to change. Either try and force them out, like I've been saying, or we have to change the way we view our football club, the way we support our football club, and just accept the fact that we will be mediocre. Those are the only 2 options we've got right now. Because, boy, It is very, very peak. Look at all those, the AC Milan, Barcelona, Chelsea. Look at the names of the clubs that let go of their legends because they weren't good enough. And we're keeping a manager who's arguably worse than all of them.
Yeah, it is, mate. It is a joke, as you know. We spoke about this on so many occasions before, and it's just and it could be sentiment. I don't necessarily think Ollie's here by sentiment, but it doesn't really matter whether it's sentiment or what I believe it is. No plan. It's. I don't think they keep. I don't actually. The more I read about the Solskjaer being protected by Fergie, I spoke to 2 different journalists about this that just said, it's bullshit. They said, like, he did not turn up to the training ground. Like, they made it sound like Fergie turned up with a man them to protect Ollie. That's how it was. He said, that's basically, this journalist I spoke to, he didn't use those phrases. He went, they made it read. You read it, and he goes, bring it down to, like, reality. Fergie, nearly 80 odd years old, woke up in the morning, gathered these boys and drove down to the training ground to protect Ollie. Did he fuck? He didn't do it. He weren't there. He didn't do that. There'd be pictures. Where was it? Where was he? Where are the photographs of Fergie? If Fergie turned up at Carrington, you're telling me the journos aren't getting pictures? Like, I kind of, when I read it, I was like, oh, it's terrible. And then people give you the facts. And this is what I say to people. And this is what the football terrace is about. You read things, we talk about it, like, oh, that's terrible. Someone comes on with, actually, that didn't happen. This was like, oh, great, you changed your mind. Like, we're fans, we're here to talk about things. But at the end of the day, this club has kept Ollie in place because we have no plan. You know, we've given what I said about today. We've given him this contract in the like, no one's reading between the lines here. He was given this contract in the summer, but we only have to pay out 1 year if he gets sacked. That ain't fully backing him, bruv. That isn't fully backing him.
Why would you even? Again, that makes no. I get why they did it. It's kind of like, oh, so we can get rid of him. But if you having a contingency plan to get rid of him in the first place, why give him 3 years?
Why? It's again, it's this message that it's. Again, I'm not saying that player power is right. I don't want player power at my club. The reason I don't want player power at my club is because it's like letting the wolf in. It's letting the wolf in your door. You know, I'll give you a better example. The phrase I hate the most in this world is an enemy of my enemy is my friend. That's dangerous because that person will turn on you as well. We start allowing player power to proceed. They'll do it. This could be the second time we help get a manager's helped out the door because of player power, and people start to celebrate. Go, oh yeah, player power is great. Until it's a manager you rate they down tools on, then you'll do your nut. We should not allow that to become part of our football club. But at the same time, it's like, I understand it. I understand the psychology of it from the players because they're like, well, the club haven't even backed him. Why should I? They can sack him for the same cost like as if he only had 1 year left on his contract. They haven't really given him 3 years. They haven't committed themselves to £21 million payout if they sack him. That means you don't 100% back him. Like if you back a manager,
what makes it even worse?
It's crazy. It's crazy.
What makes it even worse? So they've done this whole only 1 year paying thing to make sure they can get rid of him. So they put that in place, but not even who the hell they would actually want to get afterwards. The more you think about it, the more stupid it is. You put in a clause basically so you can get rid of him quickly, but then not actually say who you would want after that. Like they literally just do things. I'm convinced they just do things. They don't know. They have no idea what's going on. They don't think. They just do things and hope. That's all they do. Because you don't put that contract clause in and not know who your next manager is going to be. It makes no sense.
Yeah, and again, we may be wrong. So what may be the case is we had a contingency as in who we want next, but we expected Ollie to not be as bad as he's been so far this year. But then there has to be a backup plan to that. So there has to, because I can't imagine running a football club without going, right, if Ollie bombs, what do we do? There has to be, to a degree, a plan. Do you get what I mean? It's do you know what we'll do? What I'm saying is this is what you do, KJ. It's like, okay, look, if Ollie does really badly, we have to get rid of him in October, November, December. We know that Ten Hag is our guy, but we can't get him until June 2021. So what we do is McKenna is promoted or Carrick is promoted, or we've got this manager who's the youth whoever it is. It doesn't matter who it is. It's actually irrelevant who it is. But this person steps in and looks after to the end of the club. That way, what you could have done Monday is gone, thank you, Ollie. Goodbye, Ollie. Good night, Ollie. See you later. Thank you for what you've tried to do. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a plan. We have our long-term target to replace Ollie that's not available until the summer. We don't announce who he is, or maybe we do. Maybe you do the deal between the clubs, and you. Maybe I'm just throwing this out there as an example. Yeah. We're going to get Ten Hag. Ten Hag's agreed to join us. We've sorted the compensation out with Ajax, but he won't join until June. Between now and the end of the season, McKenna's running the team. I'm just throwing it out there. Fans may not be over the moon with that, but they know what's coming. Like it's that transparency that's needed. Right now, I can just imagine Man United are just like headless chickens behind the scenes, not knowing what to do. The players will see and hear this. That's not going to give them any strength and stability in terms of what they're doing. And it's just, honestly, these next 3 games are going to be a disaster, an absolute disaster.
It's a disaster. Either if we win all 3, we know he's staying for longer, so that's a disaster. If we lose all 3, he goes. But we've lost all 3. So that's still a disaster. Like, we literally...
I know. And it's one of those things. I mean, like I said, I want us to win the games. If we beat Spurs, trust me, I'll be... Yes. And do you know why I say that? Because I still want to make the top 4. I still want to qualify for Europe, because this is where it becomes hard. Because we need to fail for Ollie to go. But I don't want us to fail. But yeah, I'm literally caught between a rock and a hard place. I really, as a fan, I am. KJ, thank you for coming on. Viewers, thank you. We're back 6 p.m. for the Bet Victor show. Make sure you're tuning in. Going to be a big, big night indeed. Lots to debate. Lots of games ahead of the weekend to look forward to. Friday night on the terrace. Back tomorrow as ever. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again very